Hey guys, CBHolo1 here, welcome back to another video, and today we are back in my basement for the first time in a while. So, I got a couple trains from my grandfather yesterday, and I wanted to make a short video because, you know, I haven't done a video on this train layout in a very long time. So, yeah, here we are again with a Lionel postwar GG1, needs a lot of work, and 3 Manhattan cars also need an extensive amount of work. And in that box is a pre-war steamer, which I'll get out. That actually doesn't need a whole lot of work. It needs a bit of cosmetic restoration, just because there's a bunch of rust on it. But other than that, it runs like a dream. But there is a slight issue with the numbering, and I'll get to that when I get that out. And then there's a bunch of pre-war passenger cars. That I believe that's a Babe Ruth boxcar. That came with another set that I got. And I got a trolley, and the trolley works great because he actually restored that. These, he just had sitting in a box in his basement, and I pulled him out, and I tried. The GG1 wouldn't move at all when I got it. So I made that run, but it only goes one way. And the pre-war train kind of ran. I oiled it up and made it run a lot better. But it was basically ready to go when I got it out of the box. So I'm gonna run this train around for a lap on the layout, but some people are probably quite bothered by the fact that I'm going to be running it without the pantographs up. Typically on an electric locomotive like this, they would always have the pantograph that is on the back side of the engine up, given the direction it's going. So if it's going this way, that pantograph would be up. If it's going the other way, that pantograph would be up. But I don't have them up because it barely fits through the tunnel. So, like, it keeps getting caught on the horn. So if I put that up and I pull it over and I run it under the tunnel, it was a lot closer yesterday. Like, it was like right up against it, and I don't feel too comfortable running it that close. So maybe someday, but for right now, I want to save the pantographs. Alright, so let's run it for a lap, and hopefully it works. And if I don't know if it's actually going to be extensively clear on the video, but there's no buzzing from the E unit. That's because I have it locked out going this way. If I put it in the regular mode, that's supposed to be reverse, goes forward again, neutral, reverse, neutral, forward. So it doesn't go in reverse. But it does go forward. So, and also the lights in the passenger cars are a work in progress at best. The other thing I found out about these cars, and it's not that surprising, they do not like Atlas switches. I think there's just too much detail on these things. So the pickup rollers will get stuck on it, and the wheels will pop off. And I actually had to prop up the little tabs underneath that are supposed to go to the automatic couplers. I had to take the springs that push them down and make it so that they pulled them up, because if they were down, it would just constantly be colliding with the all the rails. So and that wasn't good because it wouldn't run around the track. And I want to run it on the outer loop because this is my workbench, and I wanted to be able to work on it quite easily, so I needed to make it run on the outer loop. So I had to fix that problem, and I don't think the automatic couplers work at all, so, and I'm not going to spend a lot of money to buy new ones. I basically just want to do cosmetic work and make it function. So that's going to be a process, and it's going to take a very long time, but it should be fun. Alright, so here's the steam engine I got. The reason it's over here instead of over there is because I did the shot, the first take of this, and I thought I got it right, so I ran it over here, and then I didn't, so now I have to redo it, and now the train's over here, and I'm not going to move it back, because laziness. Anyway, so this is a 249E, and there's a slight issue with this. For those of you who know, old pre-war trains, and some, like, later pre-war, early post-war, would have this E designation. That meant that it had an E unit. What an E unit does is it changes the direction of the locomotive. So as I was saying with the GG1, when I was saying forward, neutral, reverse, neutral, forward, that's how the E unit cycles. Basically, this was a revolutionary thing when it first came out, because it allowed trains to go in reverse, which was something that was not previously available. So it was really cool. Unfortunately, it has the E designation, signifying it's supposed to have an E unit. It has the slot for the E unit toggle switch, but it doesn't have an E unit in it. And I don't know why that is. I do have a spare E unit just sitting under the platform that I'm likely to put in once I figure out how to take out the motor, because the motor is proving to be difficult. I used every trick in the book that I knew to take out like post-war motors and stuff, and apparently that doesn't work in pre-war. Go figure. So I have to figure that out. And also the front opens up, voila, and it's got a nice orange headlight, which I really think looks awesome. And it's also only pulling one car. The reason it's only pulling one car is because every single one of the passenger cars, I have two sets, one's blue and one's red. All of them are missing the box on the box couplers, and they were called box couplers for obvious reasons. So for those of you who are not too acquainted with pre-war trains, this was the way that couplers used to work. Basically, it was a hook and a box, and the hook would slide in, and it would catch on the inside of the box, and it would couple. It wasn't that realistic, but it worked, and apparently they break, because I didn't know that, because I tend to break everything I have, and that's never broken on me. But apparently these all are. Somehow, every single one. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Every single coupler on all the cars is missing that box. So, these are made of metal, I think. But I'm going to be designing and 3D printing plastic ones to put over the coupler, so that these can all work, because I don't want to buy them, and I have the 3D printer so I can 3D print them. The top does come off on the car, or it did. This one apparently doesn't. I think these... maybe. I've never done this before. Yeah, anyway. I can play with that later. But yeah, so let's run it for a loop around the layout. Go Samsung. This video is not sponsored by Samsung. It was just the thing was ringing and I needed something to do, so I took a video of it. Anyway, I took the top off. I was right. You're pressing the little tabs. There's a mechanism under there that detaches it from that thing. And yeah, there's a little, I think that's a bench. The great thing about these old template cars was that like they actually bothered to do interior stuff, because you could take the top off super easy. On like some of the, I'm looking for my Polar Express cars, they're down here. On those cars, the tops don't come off as easily, so they don't do like toilets and like individual seats and stuff like that. I mean, they do, because you can look through the window, but they don't have opening doors on the inside or anything like that. And these old, especially the standard gauge cars, would have all that detail. Like the toilet lids would open and close, all the doors on the inside would open and close, some of the chairs could swivel. It was really cool. It's a shame they don't do that anymore. But anyway. I think. Maybe. Nope. Gotta love template. There we go. Now it's reattached. Okay, so let's run it. So yeah, there you go. This, older than this. This, looks better than this. Gotta love it. This thing's actually in really good shape. All the cars are. All the pre-war stuff. All the post-war stuff, looks like that. But this is also the only post-war stuff that I got, except for a trolley, which I now have 2 of. That little yellow rapid transit trolley. It's yellow and red. That was restored. That actually looks really, really good. I have to get on my chair. Pantograph moves and all that. So it's really cool. I have another one under my platform that runs similarly, but it doesn't have these things, and it doesn't have the pantograph. It's really quite strange. But anyway, trolley. This is a 249E, and that's a GG1. I'm going to pull out all the pre-war cars so I can prove to you that all of them are missing the box couplers, so be right back. Alright, so here's the 2 sets. These were made before Lionel made 4-car sets, so they're just 3-car sets. So, baggage car, passenger car, observation car, passenger car, observation car. Well, let's take a look at the couplers. Broken. Hold on. Broken, bent, broken, 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 non-existent, non-existent. There's a rope there. Non-existent, non-existent, non-existent. Yeah, observation car. That has a whistle in it. It's really heavy, and I couldn't figure out why. And it actually has a whistle in it, and the reason it has a whistle in it is because this was supposed to have a whistle in it. This does not have a whistle in it. The whistle for it is in that passenger car. No idea why. But I have another one of them sitting under my platform. I've got a lot of weird things under my platform from old trains. But yeah, I'm probably going to put that one in this. And that one's missing a lot of parts. So that's probably going to just become spare parts in case something breaks. By the way, I totally like the red ones better than the blue ones. Mainly because those kind of function and these don't. I still find it funny that there's a string. I think that's actually a wire that was supposed to hook onto this to pull it because they don't have couplers. So I'm going to need to completely design a coupler for these things. That's going to be fun. I just realized these are actually Madison cars, and I've been calling them Manhattan cars the entire time. That's because I think there's a car here that's named Manhattan. Yeah, anyway, sorry about that for all of you absolute train freaks like me. I should have known that, but I goofed. Oh well. Anyway, that's all the stuff I got from my grandfather. Really the only problem with it is the roof. That can be fixed with some paint. This is scratched up. Paint can fix that. That's in pretty good shape. That's in pretty good shape. That's in pretty good shape. That's in pretty bad shape. That's in pretty bad shape. That's in worse than pretty bad shape, but not horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Slightly better than horrible. Pristine. A trolley. So yeah, lots of work to be done. First thing I'm going to be doing is redoing these Madison cars because I really, really, really like the Madison cars. I'm a sucker for anything that looks like old Pennsylvania equipment. And that's exactly what these were supposed to be, is Pennsylvania Railroad P70s. So yeah, I saw them and I'm like, can I have these? And I could. So yeah, now I have to restore them all. And that's going to likely involve chipping off all the paint and redoing everything, and then redoing all the stenciling, glossing it, clear coating it, everything like that. Maybe polishing up the couplers. And all the lighting on the inside needs to be fixed. The trucks need to be cleaned. The wiring... I redid the wiring on one of the cars because it was being fiddly. The other 2 cars kind of work. So I'm leaving them be for right now until I get like full-blown rip everything apart and redo it. But yeah, so that's pretty nice. The GG1... it's about 50% functioning. It goes one way and one of the lights works. The lights work. Yeah, that's grammar. This light is blown out. The only reason that light works is because I took it out of one of the cars. It's this middle car that had both lights working. So, and this one had one light, that had one light, so I made this have one light. So I took out one of the lights and I put it in the front of the train. So that has one light, one light, one light, and one light. So I need 4 new lights for this train. And then I need a bunch of new lights for all the pre-war cars, because these actually have lights in them. I don't think those do, but I know these do. So that's like the only one that actually like had all the working lights in it, because there's only one. Yeah, so fun times. So yeah, I'm probably going to be doing a review video on these things once I get them fully restored. But I'm going to need to like sandblast all the paint off. I can speak today. Tear off all the stenciling, redo all the paint, redo the stenciling. I have to redo the things that go on the inside. They're down there, and they're in horrible shape. And then the GG1 needs a bunch of work. I love the pantographs. They're so much fun to play with, but I don't want to play with them too much because they might break, even though they're brand new. That's in the best shape. This one's mid-shape, this one's black. And by black, I mean like all the paint's chipped off. So, and it's revealing the black undercoat that was originally painted on it. I'm not being racist or anything like that. That needs a lot of new paint. That needs about 50% of it repainted. That needs almost none of it repainted, but I'm going to strip it all off anyway. So 100% repainted, 100% repainted, and 100% repainted. Summer projects, as well as tacking on marching band and a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm going to be doing. But yeah, I'll be doing a review video of that once I get that fully restored. Same thing with the pre-war cars, because I love pre-war trains. Template O-gauge is kind of my thing. I really like it. Standard gauge is just too big. And I also don't have a standard gauge layout. Those ones are right now on the bottom of the list. Because as nice as they look, they're missing a lot of stuff. Most notably couplers. And I'm not going to do what was clearly done here and put like a wire between the two cars to hold them together. So I'm going to need to get new couplers for that, and I need to fix all these couplers. But anyway, that is all the trains I got from my grandfather yesterday. Fun times. Anyway, I am CW Hollow 1, and have a good day, or maybe good night in your case. See ya.